Shalom, good morning, my dear audience. Standing here, standing here is I'm invited by lecturer to answer his question given. The question consists of the past, namely question on part A deals with the accounting theory. Question on part B deals with the accounting video. Question on part C deal with accounting article and accounting video, and listen to my answer, and please subscribe and like my video. Well, my dear audience, me begin now. I start to answer the question. Number 1. Do you all attend the lecture of English for accounting? And why must you attend the lecture? And what benefit haven't you got from attending the lecture of English for accounting? Well, my audience, my answer to the question on number 1 is here. Yes, I answer attend lecture English accounting my Mr. Adi Musalim, and I've be present the time of every course and lead on the card person my colleague. Why should in attend the lecture? Of course, because anything is important and very insightful, because technology is also increasingly sophisticated, as well as every trying to be used later by us in terms of accounting. Well, that's all my answer to the question number 1. Number 2. Under is process of the question number 2. Do you do your structure assignment given? If yes, how many voice record have you done? Mention the title and explain the is short. And my dear audience, my answer to the question on number 2 is here. Yes, I think I always do structured notes. It is because we are always given the text by Mr. Adi Mursalim. The video is then where have been uploaded to our private YouTube channel. So before we hard record what the Mr. Adi Mursalim was found in offense and with additional learning files that have been sent via our email. From my notes is following, so some of the details explain the accounting cycle. What is accounting about asset, cash, liabilities, and income statement. Introduce to basic and why accounting so important, so confusing student. Is accounting useful? Accounting at FAUPB. Article accounting basic. Understanding journal, variable cost, accounting system, liquidation of a partnership, accounting of net income, ratio analysis, what is practice, accountability, general journal, accounting worship, importance of accounting general ledger, and accounting concept. Cash flow, accounting equation, the ledger basic concept, the trial balance basic concept, mobile banking, business transaction, financial statement, merchandising, inventory, 5 types of asset, accounting transaction, accounting for initial invest. That's all my answer to the question number 2. And I process to the question number 3. You have been asked to sing 2 song in group and video record your song. Mention the title of your song and explain what the song title tell you. Post the link of your song to us to a group and post them too. Well, my dear audience, my answer to the question number 3 is here. Yes, I've sing two songs with my friend. The first is Conflusi song given Mr. Adi Mursalin. It's a song in the title I wake up in the morning. This song tell about what is do after is wake up and every morning, and the second song is free song at the title of our song is a thousand years. The lyric of the song tell about the meaning of true love. Well, that's all my answer to the question on number 3. And then I proceed to the question number 4. Do you do video record in English for accounting? If yes, mention the title of the article and the video. You have video record and explanation in the short. Every article or you have video record. How many video record have you done? Why? Well, my audience, my answer to the question on number 4 is here. Yes, I have been a video recording in English for accounting, and this is some title of my video. Midterm text video accounting English text chapter 7. What is accounting? Capital market, accounting financial, journal ledger, trial balance, equipment finance, statement or change in equity, preparation of trial balance, financial statement, CTVs become major communications, European Central Bank stop, printer 500 euro banknote, financial ration, accounting cycle, accountability, management of accounting, goal as a investment, importance of accounting, what do accounting do, accounting concept, 2 main types of accounting, history of accounting, accounting principle, general journal, basic of the accounting, balance of payment. Well, tell all my answer to the question on number 4. In process to the question number 5. Mention and explain the material you have studied for your lecture, and what benefit have you got from the material you have studied. Well, my audience, my answer to the question of number 5 is here. This one of the material discussed by Mr. Adi Mursalin of Friday, 5 April 2019 about the property. Property is value or property of anything. Value if it is does not given the value it is not property. If you have asset you are selling in is the name equity and withdrawn when the owner takes cash or other asset from the business spot personnel. The benefit of curtain gain collect again and season where are in accounting department we have to factor expenses interest for course accounting English, and I want to say thank you to Mr. Adi Mursalin. Well, that's all my answer for the question number 5. Well, no is answer the question on part B. The first question is, open this link and you must give the reason. When you answer the question, you met in the link. Well, my answer to the number 1 is here. That is great accounting tutorial from the basic of accounting for beginner. The asset Y to cap debits and credit, and asset equal liabilities plus equity, or accounting equation. Starring. You can use the information in the video on your first day, efficienting class all the way to being a CVA, debit, credit, asset, draw, expenses, liabilities, equity, revenues. This video has a very basic example and can be used in the most advanced session. Well, that's all my answer for the question number 1. And then is process to the question number 2. Problem. 5 business transactions. Following is a list of common transactions. A. Received cash for common stock. B. Purchased supplier for cash. C. Purchased equipment and account. D. Bill customer for service on account. A. Pen creditor on account. A. Received cash from consumer bill and account. G. Paying rate for termonchi. Hey. Referred payment for service from cash consumer. A. Pay cash dividends. Each of the transaction will affect the accounting equation in one of the following ways. 1. An increase in an asset and increase in a liabilities. 2. An increase in a asset and an increase in another equity. 3. An increase in asset and a decrease in another asset. 4. A decrease in a asset and decrease in a liabilities. 5. A decrease in a asset and decrease in another equity. Required for X transaction selects your purpose effect on the accounting equation. You must also given the reason why it is increase and decrease. Well, my answer to number 2 is here. Transaction referred cash from common stock in an increase and cash and asset decrease on onward equity transaction. B. Purchased supplier for cash is a increase and a decrease cash transaction. C. Purchase in equipment on accounting is increase asset and decrease asset cash transaction. Billed consumer for service on account is a increase and asset on increase annual equity transaction. A. Pen creditor and account is a increase and a decrease cash transaction. A. Received cash from consumer. Bill on account is a increase and cash and decrease on annual equity transaction. G. Payment rate for the month is increases asset and decreases cash transaction. H. Received payment for receiver from cash customer is a increase and cash and decrease and annual equity transaction. A. 10 cash dividend is a increase in asset and decrease a cash. Well, that's all my answer to the question number 2. For X transaction, determine the account to be debited and credited. You must also given the reason why it's debited or it is credited. The general question is problem. Seek debit and credit following is a least common accounting transaction. Issue of common stock to the holder of cash, holder for cash, was recorded as a debit to cash and a credit to common stock and a credit to additional pain in capital credit. So there are the account. B. Payment or rent for the current month was recorded as debit to miscellaneous expenses and a credit to the rent expenses. C. Purchase of supplier on account was recorded as a debit to supplier and credit to account payable. G. Payment to a creditor and account was recorded as debit to accounting payable and debited to cash. In this process, when you happen to spend money, cash is the side of the asset and crediting in will. For the debit account, we do in by debiting our debit account. A. Receiver of cash from consumer previously billed and accounting was recorded as a debit to cash and credit to account receivable. G. Payment of cash dividends to stockholder was recorded as an dividend payable is liabilities account which incurred when direction declare a cash dividend and in is debited when the cash for a previously declared dividend in paid into stockholder. He. Payment for a 3-year insurance policy. A. Accurate E12 expense Y recorded as debit to provide increase and a credit to cash. G. Receipt of cash for service to be provided in the future was recorded as debited to cash and credit to preparation income. That's all my answer on the question on part B, and I proceed to the question on part C, deal with the article and video. Well, is answer a question on part C, deal with the article and video accounting. The first question. Well, answer the question on part C. The question on part C deal with the article and video of accounting. Number 1. Please read the accounting book that has been given by you. Your lecture mention the title of ebook and will return the ebook. How many pages does the ebook have? How many chapters does each chapter tell you? Well, my audience, my answer to the question on number 1, part C in here. My lecturer has given ebook, Turk email with amount of 12 ebook. The Accounting Cycle, written by Larry M. Welcher, the Christopher G. Saucausen, with Moss, Peck, 98 and 4 chapter. English for Accounting with Moss, Peck, 119 and 11 chapter. Microsoft PowerPoint, 2007. Principle of Accounting 1, which written by the Jules Lerner and James Chesney, with a lot of page, 397 and 60 chapter. Introduction to Accounting Concept and Principle, written by Frank Wood and Alan Sangster, with amount of 793 and 8 chapter. Accounting Principle 1, written by Elizabeth Minibiol, with many page, 213 and 11 chapter. Accounting and the Business every month, read by Lively Jorlinaria Rencia, with my page 26 and 1 chapter. Accounting, written by Warren Ref and Deducate, with my page 1283. Accounting Principle 2, written by Elizabeth Manbiol, with many pages, 306 and 50 chapters. That all my answer for the question number 1. And the in process to the question number 2 about capital market article. The definition capital market is market where buyer and seller engage in the trade of financial securities like bonds, stock, principal stocks, and individuals and institutions. Descriptive capital market help canalize sellers from sellers to interaction with the invest then into procedure use general. This market traded mostly in long-term securities. Capital market consists of primary market and secondary market. Primary market deal with trade of new issue and stock and deal with the exchange of existing or previously issued securities. Another important division in the capital market is made and the business of nature of security traded stock market and bond market. Well, that's all my answer to the question number 2, and I process to the question number 3. Well, my answer for the question number this is story. The first video. This title is Accounting Basic, and the speaker is lecture channel. The contents in this video is the session in basic introduction to what is accounting. This session is for the beginner student, working professional, and only who want to learn accounting. The tutorial will help them to learn about accounting, bookkeeping, what are the accounting concepts. All this above these are explained talk and example up to next where you will also understand 1. Accounting basic and concept 2. What is the difference between the bookkeeping and accounting? 3. Why shouldn't you learn accounting? 4. Some of the use and explanation learn accounting is existence way. The second video, the title is real, personal, nominal, account and golden rules accounting. The speaker is Nehal Parayani. Is this video she explaining about the classification or types of account and their debit and credit rules, also known as golden rules of accounting. Okay, this is my video record. Thank you.